Hello, it's me back again, and I'm back a year older. As I mentioned in my previous video, I recently had my 24th birthday, and as a result, I have a lot of books to share with you. I was lucky enough to receive many gifts in the form of books for my birthday, which comes as no surprise. So, in true me fashion, in true booktube fashion, it would be a crime to not do a little book haul. As I mentioned, there's some gifts, there's some books that I bought myself. I think there's a nice mixture of particularly two genres, which nobody will be especially surprised about. But yeah, a couple of these I have also read, so I'll be able to say a little bit more about those. But yeah, let's get into it. First of all is a non-book gift that Alex bought me. Now, I spend a lot of time on TikTok, which I know, shock, I'll let you take that in. And one of the things I've seen a lot on TikTok are Jellycats, which, if you're unaware, they're just like plushies, like little teddies. But they are just so cute, and I really, really wanted one. So Alex did get me my first Jellycat for my birthday, which I'm very excited about. And he now guards my TBR card, which, by the way, I've also developed into a second TBR card because this whole thing is a bit of a problem. So I've had to grow into a second TBR card, which is, we won't talk about that. But this is my new guardian of the TBR cards. His name's Ricky, the Rain Frog, and I love him, and I wanted to share him with you because he's now the mascot of the Skylar's Bookshelf channel. Because look at him, he's so ugly but so cute at the same time, and I think he's great. So consider this your formal introduction. Moving on to actual book gifts that I was lucky enough to receive. First up, we have Caitlin, who is just the bestest, and she spoils me every time, and she's just the best, and I love her to pieces. And she actually got me two gifts, which was very kind of her, and I'm excited about both of them because, I was particularly excited about the gift note because when I opened it, it just says, "Hello friend, happy birthday, enjoy one of my favourite books ever, and smart. I'll let you figure out which is which. Sending you all the love, Caitlin." So immediately, I'm intrigued. We've got two very different vibes, which I appreciate. I like the switch up. I like the duality of me going on here. We have a fantasy and we have a romance, which essentially is just me. I just love, they are my two favourite genres, and you can't go wrong with either. So first up, we have Red Skies Under Red Seas by Scott Lynch, which is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series. I have The Lies of Lachlan Mora over on TBR card number 2. I haven't yet read it, but I'm very excited because obviously it's a series that a lot of people absolutely love, Caitlin included, and I'm really excited for when I get to it. I bought the first book a couple of months ago in HMV. I think it was like 2 for £5 or something, so I was like, definitely gonna pick that up because it's definitely something that's on my radar for sure. I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think there are 3 books out currently, but I have a feeling there's a 4th that's due to come out at some point. I think I could be completely wrong in that, but either way, I just have the 3rd one to get now, and then I can make a start on this, because I feel like I'm probably going to want to read all 3 together, because that's just what I prefer to do. So I'm super excited about this. And then secondly, on another level, different genre switch, we have Twisted Games by Anna Huang, which is a romance book. So I was very excited. Basically, I read the first one. This is book 2. I read the first one a couple of months ago now on Kindle Unlimited because I feel like this is a series I see a lot on BookTok, and BookTok is kind of hit and miss for me because I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, particularly for romance books. I feel like it is very, very hit or miss. Like, there's a lot of sort of misplaced workplace tropes going on, like this is enemies to lovers and it's not actually enemies to lovers, etc. You just can't really trust there, and sometimes the recommendations are a little iffy. But I was sucked in, and I read book 1, and it was fine. It was okay. It was just kind of your run of the mill KU romance. It was nothing special, but it was fine. I was entertained. But I was interested in reading particularly the second one because it's a princess bodyguard romance, and that was interesting to me, and I ended up really enjoying it. I think I gave it a 4-star because I have already read this. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It had kind of Princess Diaries 2 vibes to it, which of course just sold it to me. But the romance was really good and I really enjoyed it. Like, again, nothing particularly groundbreaking, but I've been finding myself in a little bit of a reading crisis recently. And my only answer to that is always romance. Return to my romance roots. It always works because it doesn't even matter if it's going to be like a 3-star romance. I will read it in like one day. I will sit down and I will not put it down because it's just so digestible. Like, I can switch my brain off and just read it and I don't really have to think, which is what I need right now. And this really did the job. So I was really happy with this. So happy, in fact, that I went into Waterstones and I bought book 3. Which, by the way, I am genuinely shocked at the romance presence in like Waterstones and just mainstream bookshops. I just feel like if I'd gone into a Waterstones 2 years ago when I first started on BookTube, Bookstagram and everything, I would never have found a romance book in this kind of vein, like new adult romance, like the kind of romance you'd find on Kindle Unlimited that's more geared towards my age demographic as opposed to an older age demographic. I don't think I would have found, like, I walked into Waterstones the other week and I saw Punk 57 on a Waterstones table. I saw Penelope Douglas on a Waterstones table. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, despite my reservations about Book Talk, I think, controversial opinion, I think that it's really changed the game for romance readers in terms of like mainstream access to romance books, because I don't think 2 years ago you would have found something like this in a Waterstones, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I was just looking in the wrong Waterstones. But either way, I bought book 3 because I was just having a fun time and this one seemed just as interesting. Enemies to lovers, whether it will be enemies to lovers, we shall see. But yeah, I'm excited about it nonetheless. So thank you, Caitlin, for those first 2 gifts. Secondly, we have Tati, my lovely, lovely, wonderful Tati, who also gifted me with 2 gifts because I was really spoiled this year, clearly. And yeah, Tati is one of the first friends I made through this whole BookTube thing, and she's one of my best friends ever, and I love her a lot. And she got me 2 books, as I mentioned. The first of which is Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson, which I'm so happy to have. Her gift note says, "Happy birthday, my darling. It is a crime, a travesty, and oversight that this is not already a part of your collection." And I agree wholeheartedly. I can't believe I didn't own this. This, if you're for the uninitiated, The Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson is my favourite, like, fictional universe. It's my favourite series ever. I have all of the books. This postcard is a Cosmere postcard. I have all the US hardcovers of Stormlight. I have special editions of Mistborn. I love, where's my Warbreaker? Like, this is my Warbreaker. Like, I don't tab books ever, but like, look at this. I tabbed the living daylights out of this book, and it's all like Cosmere links, character progression, blah 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 blah. This is the only book I've ever done anything like this to, and I love it, and Warbreaker is the best. But by the by, the Cosmere I just love. It is the first, Mistborn was the first series that got me into adult fantasy, and I never look back. So to have this now in my collection is very welcomed. This is essentially a collection of short stories and novellas and like little bitty things. There are a collection of 9 works spanning the Cosmere. I didn't realise Edgedancer was in this because I read Edgedancer as a book of its own when I was reading Stormlight. I didn't realise it was part of this. But there is Mistborn stories, there are Stormlight stories, there are Elantris stories. It just spans everything, and I'm super excited to have this. Like I said, I've read a couple of things from this previously. I've read Edgedancer, I've also read The Secret History, but there's a bunch in here that I haven't read, and I'm super excited to get to. So thank you, Tati, for this. And then secondly, in a similar vein to Caitlin, Tati went down 2 very different routes: fantasy, and instead of romance, necessarily romance but classic, she went ahead and got me Persuasion by Jane Austen in this just glorious special edition. So I don't know if you remember, last year I went on a trip to Bath with my friend Lucy, and one of the places we went to was the Jane Austen Museum, and I got this lovely edition of Pride and Prejudice, which is the Chiltern Classics edition with the lovely metallic sprayed edges, and it's just glorious and beautiful and like heavy. And Tati has added to my collection with Persuasion, and I just think they look stunning together. I love them, and I've said it a million times, but I really am trying to get myself to read some classics this year, and realistically Jane Austen is where I'm going to be starting, and I think if there's anything that's going to get me to read classics, it will be wonderful editions like this, because they just make me want to read them. And to add even further onto this, aforementioned Lucy also added to the collection with Northanger Abbey, which is also beautiful, metallic and glorious, and now these are just beautiful, beautiful children who I love a lot, and I'm super excited to have them. I think just like all together they look so pretty, and yeah, I'm just super happy with them. So thank you to Lucy and Tati. I love you both the most. And finally, in gifts, I received a lovely package from Katie, who I also love to pieces, and she got me 3 books, so she's top of the leaderboards. But this is kind of a funny one, because there's kind of a running joke between me and Katie in that she influences me like no other. If Katie reads it, I want to read it. I trust her implicitly with her book tastes, and she has influenced me every day for the last 2 years since I found her channel, and she's just the best. She is the reason I started a bunch of fantasy series, and she's part of the reason why I started reading Joe Abercrombie books. Now, cut to last year where we really bonded over the whole Abercrombie thing, and for Christmas I bought her some books, and in a truly excellent move on her part, Katie has kindly gifted me the same books. So I have the Shattered Sea trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. So this is a series that I haven't read by Joe Abercrombie. So the first Law series is like 9 books, and I love it so much. It is one of my all-time favourite series ever. I love it to pieces. I will protect it with everything I have, but I have never read anything else that Abercrombie has written, and this is one of, I don't know if he really has any other series, but this is his other main series, and I have a feeling, I want to say it's more YA, but I feel like that's completely wrong. I feel like the covers just give me a YA vibe, but that's just by the by. I know nothing about the series at all, but if Joe Abercrombie writes it, I will read it. So yeah, thank you to Katie for gifting me this. I was very excited, and I laughed a lot when I opened it, because now we've just got the same thing on our shelves, gifted from one to the other, which I love. So yeah, thank you Katie, I'm super excited about this. In terms of things I've bought myself around my birthday time, the main thing that I've been most excited about in the last couple of months has been The Broken Binding. If you are a sci-fi and fantasy reader, I strongly suggest checking out The Broken Binding. They are an independent sci-fi fantasy bookshop who I just think are just killing the game right now, and part of the reason I say that is because of their special editions. So they have some special editions that they bring out just individually. So I have the anniversary edition of Prince of Thorns with these lovely edges, and there's foiling on the hardcover, and it's just glorious and wonderful. I love it. But primarily I'm talking their subscription, which I absolutely love, and recently I got the last book in the First Law trilogy through the post as part of the subscription series, and I love it because, as I mentioned, I love the First Law and I love the Broken Binding, and they did their first series in the subscription as the First Law trilogy. So they have this lovely edge that lines up all together. But mainly I just wanted to show off the like foiling on the hardcover because I just love it. I think they did just such a good job, and it's by far my favourite series of books that I bought this year, because I already know I love the series, but they really did just such a good job. Just look at the foiling. It's like, and they're all different colours. One of them is like rose gold. I think the other one is gold. This one's blue. And they all have like a quote on the side. So this one is "Body found floating by the docks." I think one of the other ones says "You can never have too many knives," and the other one is "Say one thing for Logan Nine Fingers." So they all have like these fun little quotes on the side, and I just love them. I think they're great. Yeah, basically I just wanted to show these because they are my favourite books that I bought this year, and I'm so happy with them, and I just wanted to tell everyone to check out the Broken Binding because I think they're great. Finally, in books that I've bought myself, again, completely different note. I feel like this whole video has just been 50% romance, 50% fantasy, and to me, that's just me returning to my roots, and I'm really happy about it because I've got such a good balance going on right now, and I'm feeling great about it. I'm like, read one fantasy, read one romance, and I'm going back and forth, and it's really helping me stay out of my reading rut, and I'm really having a great time. But the last two books I bought were It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey and Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. These were my first Tessa Bailey books. Actually, I tell a lie. I have her other series. I don't know what it's called, but it's like Fix Her Up, Tools of Engagement, and the other one, I can't remember the other one. I have all those on Kindle, but I've never read them. But once again, TikTok sucked me in with It Happened One Summer. But it wasn't just TikTok. I feel like this has been on like Book Twitter, BookTube, everywhere. And I was super excited about it. I also just love the cover. I love the like cartoon romance covers. I don't know why, I really like them. But I've already read this. As I said, I've been having a crisis and I'm returning to my roots. So this was my first Tessa Bailey book that I read, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave her a 5-star. This was my first 5-star romance of 2022, and I had a great time. I read this with such ease, such entertainment, such enjoyment, and I can't recommend her enough. It was super cute, but also Tessa Bailey, she writes some great content. Let me just tell you that. I just thought it was really cute and just such an easy read, and it was like summery vibes, and it's been sunny in the UK right now, and this just did it for me, and so I'm super excited to read book 2, which also, by the way, these are $9.99 each in Waterstones, but I picked both up in Waterstones, this one from the table, this one from the shelf, and I got to the till, and the girl on the counter was like, "Did you pick this one up from the shelf or the table?" And I was like, "From the shelf." Was I not supposed to have it? I started to like panic because that's just how my brain goes. I was like, oh my god, what have I done wrong? But it turns out it was supposed to be on the table, which meant I got this one for half price. So I was on cloud 9. I was ecstatic, and yes, I almost did just hit myself in the head with a book. Yeah, so I'm super excited for this. If it's anything like this one, I'm gonna love it. So, and the romance for this one was like set up like decently well, I think, in the background of this one, so I'm really excited. But that's pretty much everything that I got for my birthday this year, and I'm super happy with all of it. I have, like I said, an excellent balance of fantasy and romance, and I'm really happy about it because, yeah, I have the best friends, I have the best family, and yeah, I'm super grateful. I was spoiled, and I'm excited to read everything that I got. So if you've read any of these, or you're excited about any of these, please do let me know, because I always love to know which ones I should like bump to the top of the list, because it's difficult to pick sometimes when there are just so many things in front of you. So yeah, any tips, please do let me know. I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you next time.